Hi, everybody. It's me again, Michael Tiller. Don't you just love songs about Jesus? I do. I have since I was a little child. And the pastor used to sit there and he'd say, Michael, would you like to hear a story about Jesus? And I'd say, yes, I'd like to hear a story about Jesus very much. And so then he'd sit down and he'd read me the scriptures and, oh, God, I loved it. I loved hearing the stories about Jesus preaching to people all over the Middle East, turning those Jewish heathens into Christians so they wouldn't go to hell for eating pork. And so he'd go on telling me about all this preaching Jesus was doing, going from town to town, telling people about his big daddy Jehovah, Yahweh. You can call him what you like, but it's Jesus' daddy. And so he told me about all those stories about Jesus going around and preaching, how he'd walk from town to town, and I had always imagined Jesus in my head, and how sore his feet must have been. And so as a child, that instilled in me a deep faith for Jesus. Poor man walking around on his feet all day long. And of course, those stories, they had an effect on me. Sometimes in life, we find that our hobbies and interests intersect with our faith, and an important bond is created. And when I thought of Jesus walking around barefoot, my God, the lights clicked in my head, and I suddenly understood. Jesus said, if you want to be one with me, you need to eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. But I believe you need to be able to smell his feet first, too. This is a conviction that I've had for my whole life. And I never thought I'd find another group that shared that same conviction. That is, until I started to work with Elevate. Elevate is a youth ministry that believes in Jesus Christ just like I do. And they share that same focal point on his feet, teaching the children the importance of his 10 little digits. And so when I heard the message of Elevate, and how they were teaching the children that to get to heaven, first you must prostrate yourself at Jesus' feet, well, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And so I had my company, Matt Photos, work with them. This was after our very famous hand-on-hip photo shoot, for which we are now worldly known. And so after working with them and sharing the word of Jesus, I felt comfortable in promoting their website and their ministry. And so if you look on the screen right now, there's a link right there to their ministry. Be sure and stop by and tell them I sent you. Tell them Michael Tiller from Matt Photos sends you to them, so they'll know that you're serious about worshiping and respecting Jesus' feet. Thank you all for listening. This has been Michael Tiller of Matt Photos telling you it's okay to like feet.